Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
You wrote this masterpiece, From Strength to Strength, and you recently wrote a new book with Oprah Winfrey, which is not a bad co-author.
Not bad.
Called Build the Life You Want. Just an amazing voice out in the world. You do something very unique. You teach happiness.
Yeah. Science of happiness.
The science of happiness, which
exactly
is,
right.
God help us, we need it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The world, I mean, it's, you look at the data on the, what's been going on in the United States and around the world, we've been ticking down in happiness since about 1990, as a matter of fact.
It's free-falling.
It's, I dedicated the rest of my life to lifting people up and bringing them together in bonds of happiness and love using science as a scientist, because that's what the world needs most.
Okay, so I want to know from that scientific perspective, because you can have the motivational quotes, you can have the gratitude journal, right, all this stuff. But for real, in science, what have you found?
Yeah.
Because everything you've written about, but what are some of the things that you see that's just mind blowing? Because it has to be, where you actually see science and emotion all come together.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible field. My mind is getting blown continuously. I write a column every Thursday in the Atlantic about the science of happiness, and I've done 204 columns, and I'm just getting started. Still learning. There is so much about it. There's so much to write about it. But when I have, if I get an elevator ride with somebody, they're like, "What's the secret?" I better have something to say. So here it is. The habits of the happiest people come down to 4 things: faith, family, friends, and work serving others.
And this is not influencer mumbo jumbo.
No.
You're a Harvard scientist, right?
This is based
For
on
real.
this is my behavioral science background the last 30 years since I got my PhD.
Say it again.
Faith,
Family, friends.
friendship, and meaningful work, which means that you're serving others.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Walk through some of those real quick. So
Okay,
faith, what does that mean? People of faith, is it because there is something higher than them? There's something bigger than them. It's not just about them on this earth, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying my faith. I'm a Christian. It's literally the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
But I will say as a scientist, I won't say who's right, but I will say as a scientist, what you need from faith is something transcendent to you. What that means is Mother Nature will put you in the psychodrama of your life where you're the star, and it's awful because Mother Nature doesn't care if you're happy.
Yeah.
She wants you to focus on me all day long. You need to get little and make the universe big. Now, and
so
faith
good.
is the single best way to do it. And the more you focus on it and practice it every day, it doesn't feel natural at first. But I'm telling you, it's the game changer.
There. So
right?
good.
That's number 1.
The higher power, yeah.
Or number 1. Number 2 is family. And people define it differently in different ways. And John and I know the neurobiology of how oxytocin links you with your kid, because we're a bunch of nerds. But it really comes down to this. If you're walking away from your family, or you're letting anything besides abuse put a schism in your family, you're ruining your happiness and theirs too. People, 1 in 6 Americans is not talking to a family member today because of politics. It's insanity.
So we're letting all these things completely drive a wedge
We're letting
into
the media,
one of the 4 pillars of our
For
happiness.
sure. Politicians want us to do that. The media wants us to do that.
Wow.
Look, when you're walking away from your family, somebody's profiting and it's not you. That's the bottom line.
And no matter how much you think you're winning, it's coming at a cost.
You're losing.
You're
losing because it's a bad proposition. You're basically, it's the stuff that you guys talk about, but in the ledger of happiness.
Yeah.
What it comes down to. Bad investment. Third is friendship. Now, we're at the lowest point in friendship that we've seen since we've been keeping records. Loneliness is higher than it's ever been in the United States, but we're around people all the time. What's the deal? And the answer is that we're mediating our relationships with electronics. This is a problem. Social media relationships are not real relationships. Now, a lot of people, I deal with a lot of people really, really successful, and they say, "I'm so lonely, even though I'm with people all day long." And I say, "Well, that's a problem. You don't have any real friends. You just have deal friends." And everybody knows the difference between real and deal. But with young people, it's real and virtual. So social media won't get it done. It just won't. If it's going through a screen, you're not going to get the brain chemistry that you need. And if you want to know whether or not you got enough of this going on, if you're finding that you're feeling lonely despite having a lot of conversations with people, then you're doing the conversations wrong.
I was going to say, because the content of the friendship is what's key there, right?
Yeah.
The vulnerability, the honesty, being known at a deep level.
And also the contact, the method of contact, eye contact.
Of that
touch.
too. So the in-person.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me this. I'm going to...
Yeah. And then there's work.
I'm going to tell on myself. I'm going to tell on myself real quick, because I'm curious what you think about this. But so Marco Polo is an app. It's a video app. And so there's me and 3 girlfriends, and we keep up. I mean, almost every day. Like when I come home from work, they'll kind of chime in because we're all over.
Right.
We're not all in the same city. Can we have that same connection if our conversations are good and we're knowing what's going on and we're checking in and asking questions and all of it? I mean, I know it's not as fruitful as like a back-to-back in person.
So
but
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. Oh, say,
I'm
so
being selfish for a second.
Here's what's going on in your brain.
Okay.
So you have a neuropeptide, a hormone in your brain that's intensely pleasurable called oxytocin. You know, the biggest amount that you get is when you lay eyes on your newborn infant. And it's like the 4th of July inside your head.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
Now, we have this because we're supposed to be linked to our people and they're supposed to be linked to us. So when you're lonely, you won't be able to sleep. You won't, it's like things are messed up. You feel out of sorts. You're feeling restless all the time. The reason is because you have a deficit of oxytocin and the monkey's on your back. It's like you're an addict and can't get what you want is the way that works. Okay. So all of these mediated ways to deal with people. Look, we have a Pleistocene brain. We have caveman brain. I mean, we have not evolved our brains over 250,000 years.
Right.
We're made to be connected to our kin because we're a kin-based hierarchical tropical species. That's what Homo sapiens is. Right now, we can, you know, there are all sorts of ways that we can change that, like invent coats so we don't have to live in tropical places.
Right.
We're still kin-based.
So interesting.
And we link to each other neurobiologically through this hormone. So in person, eye contact and touch, that's best. Below that is anything that gets you closer to that particular experience. Zoom is terrible. Zoom is terrible.
Zoom
because
is
there's no
the
eye contact.
Twinkies, right?
Zoom is like getting, well, actually the worst is social media because they're not even there. So Zoom is like getting all of your meals through fast food. It's the junk food of social life.
Yes.
You'll become obese and malnourished simultaneously.
Okay, so
quick, can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Okay, this has been haunting me, and you and I were talking about this earlier. There is data on the psychology of debt.
Yes.
Dave has been talking about this for 30 years. The borrower slave to the lender. That's from scripture. But there is now, there's data that suggests.
We got it. We know how money and happiness are related.
Okay, we got like a minute. Talk to us.
Grandma says that money doesn't bring happiness. She's right. But money at low levels can eliminate sources of unhappiness unless you spend the money wrong. There's 5 ways to spend your money.
Okay.
Buy stuff, buy experiences with the people you love, buy time and spend it with the people that you love, give it away and save it. It turns out the one thing that your neurobiology wants you to do, which is go buy stuff, is the one thing that doesn't buy happiness.
Wow.
The other 4 will. Now, it depends on where you are. If you're actually at the bottom and you're trying to make your way, the best way that you can actually bring happiness to your life is save your money because you're making progress. There's a ton of psychology behind this. And by the way, going into debt, especially for consumer things, will reliably make you miserable.
So that's not just Dave having fun and being angry.
This is happiness science, my friends. It's changed my life, and it's helped me to give better advice to people at all different stations in life and different economic circumstances. Because I can say this to people. I can say, look, I got the data on this. And by the way, if you're really, really rich, God bless you. That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you under the circumstances. But that means you have to still spend your money the right way. Getting a 5th Ferrari is not the right thing to do. Experiences with people that you love. Philanthropy, these are the ways for you to buy your happiness. Don't buy crap. You're not gonna.
You can say it. You can say
You're not going to be on your deathbed saying, "I wish I'd bought more crap."
That's right.
But you're going to say, "I wish I'd taken that fishing trip with my buddies."
I wish I had actually spent more time with the people that I love, and I wish I'd supported the causes about which I'm passionate.
So good. Oh my gosh.
One of my absolute heroes, Dr. Arthur Brooks.
Yeah. So you guys check out his book, Build the Life You Want. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish we had the whole hour with you.
We'll do it again.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.